So you decided that you're done with people pleasing. You're no longer shrinking yourself. You're no longer staying quiet to keep the peace. And you are going to set hard and firm boundaries. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, the journey only gets harder from here. Not to discourage you. See, if you've been people pleasing your entire life, you're in your mid 20s, your 30s, even 40s, 50s, there is going to be a stumbling period. There's going to be an in between phase where you are a baby who is walking for the first time. You're going to stumble, you're going to fall, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? But in this in between phase is a great opportunity for you to increase your discernment. See, once you make the decision to stop people pleasing, you may think that it's going to come just like that. Like we see so much like, oh, boundaries and advocacy and all blah, blah, blah all over the internet, right? But nobody really tells you how difficult that may be for you first getting started. And as anything that you're learning new for the first time, you're going to have some stumbling. You're going to stumble. And instead of beating yourself up every time you fumble the ball, okay, every time you just really, you say, oh, I'm going to speak up the next time I go somewhere, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna not let them talk to me any type of way. But then they do say something, and you freeze. You freeze because this is still new to you, and that is normal. That's normal, and that's to be expected. And you should not beat yourself up about that. But this video is not necessarily just for advice on being kinder to yourself. I wanted to shift your perspective, and instead of seeing this in between phase as failure, this in between phase can be a catalyst for developing stronger discernment. Okay? Stronger discernment for the people that you meet, but also the people in your life who benefited from your lack of boundaries. I want to speak to this personally because when I was in this stage, I was right in the middle of this stage, and I had attempted to make a new friendship with someone, right? She called herself a spiritual healer, whatever. And we were just alike in many ways. We had so much in common. So I'm like, cool, let me go ahead and, go out, put myself out there, meet new people. Okay. But throughout our relationship, there were just very, very weird moments and situations that were now very obvious to me that she was testing my boundaries, but it was peculiar to me. So essentially, she told me that she didn't have a car. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, cool, because the first time that we met up, her boyfriend took us to this concert that we were going to. So I asked her for our next meetup. I'm like, we're going to this club. Is your boyfriend going to take us? She said, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I spent the whole day just expecting to get a ride. Drove all the way to her house. She didn't say anything. I sat down on the couch. We were talking for a bit. She didn't say anything. She said, she actually did say, oh, so what time did you want to leave? I thought that was very weird, but I didn't really think anything of it, right? So then I saw her boyfriend, we spoke, and then he went out the back door, right? He went out the back door. So I was like, okay, cool. So we got up to leave, not about 3 minutes after he went out the back door. So we go out and we're standing outside our house, and I'm just standing there, and she's standing there. Like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? What? Where is he? And then she's like, oh, well, where did you park? I'm like, huh? Where did I park? Where is he? I thought he was sitting in the car. She was like, oh, well, girl, he ain't say nothing, so I didn't press the issue. That was she was testing me there. Okay, because that immediately pissed me off. I got pissed off by that because You knew this whole time that he wasn't going to take us, and you allowed me to drive all the way to your house without saying anything. You sat on the couch without saying anything. I'm standing outside looking like a fool without saying anything. And you want to wait until I have to address it for you to say something. And that was definitely manipulation. Okay, that was a manipulation tactic, but there was also a boundary test. Because that pissed me off so much, I told myself, I'm like, she will never see me again after this, because that's the type of person that I was back then. Whenever somebody did something to make me upset, I would just ghost their ass. Okay, I would just ghost them. But that was my old identity. My old identity was to ghost people without letting them know what they did wrong. And you know, as I was saying, I'm doing shadow work. I'm trying to change, transform into a better person. So I don't just want to run away from conflict, right? I don't want to run away from hard conversations. That was definitely a conversation that should have been had. So after that, I was upset, but I still went out. I drove her, enjoyed my night. But I did not talk to her for 3 weeks after that, right? And it was a battle going back and forth. Like, should I cut her off or should I say something? And ultimately, I decided that I was going to give her another chance. So she was the one who broke like that whole 3 week no contact. And if she didn't break it, I honestly wouldn't have broken it myself, honestly. Um, but yeah, she broke it. She asked if everything was okay. One rookie mistake, and as I was saying, I was in my in between stage. One rookie mistake that I made was because I absolutely did want to tell her that she crossed the boundary. But at that time, I let it go because I'm like, okay, it's been over a month. I'm going to just let it go. I'm going to let it fly. The unfortunate reality of that is because she was testing me and I failed the test for myself and I passed for her. She kept doing sneaky and manipulative stuff like that. That right there was her green light to continue to manipulate me throughout this whole entire relationship. Brushing it off, staying quiet, and letting it go. And because she got the green light, that's what happened throughout the relationship. It was constant manipulation after selfish acts that I finally got tired of it. And I cut it off after 6 months. I let that go. But again, this isn't so much more about the specifics of the relationship. It really is the underlining hidden message that I can take away from it. That even though I was still in my newbie phase of setting my boundaries, I still allowed someone to show me who they are. And instead of getting down on myself for not speaking up sooner or not speaking up at all, I was able to see her true character. True character of someone who intentionally takes advantage of a person's genuinity. That's messed up. And I just mentioned too that she was a spiritual healer just because that was another reason why it was so hard for me to set those boundaries. Just because I didn't want to believe that someone of her candor can actually be so selfish and act this way. Like, I did not want to believe it. That's part of the reason why I stayed silent. And I'm going to make another video on that too, about how we just need to get rid of titles. Like, it really doesn't matter. For some people, their title does not matter. Still pay attention to their character, right? And she showed me that. She really showed me her character. She's willing to take advantage of people who are actually attempting to be genuine. And I would just want this to be a lesson to everyone watching. While you're in this in-between stage, and I still want you to try. I don't want you to intentionally, unless this is a strategy, I don't want you just to intentionally stay quiet unless you want to, right? But again, as you're trying, because you can only get better at something if you try, repeatedly, right? Just look at that person. Look at that person and see what they're doing. See if they are intentionally taking advantage of you, intentionally crossing your boundaries because they just don't care about you. Like there are a myriad of reasons they could just not care. But you need to view that and you need to move accordingly. So I want to leave you with this. When you're coming out of people pleasing, your discernment has to grow alongside your boundaries. Otherwise, you'll spend all this energy learning to say no, and then you're still inviting the wrong people into your life or keeping them in your life. So don't shame yourself if you're still in that awkward middle stage where it's very hard for you to speak up. Because every time you hesitate, every time you shrink, and every time you have an uncomfortable interaction, it just gives you another opportunity to observe. And I would beg you to ask a question. Ask yourself, who is this person when they think there are no consequences? Just sit with that. So I want to thank you so much for listening to this video today. If this resonated with you, please share down in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear your stories. I would love to reply. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.